Okay, so for this lesson, you learned how to switch between improper fractions and mixed numbers. You know how to convert back and forth with both of those. And so now we're gonna work on adding and subtracting mixed numbers, okay? So we're gonna work our way. We're gonna start with adding and go down, and then we're gonna do subtracting and go down, okay? So, if we're gonna do 2 and 5/8, so remember this is 2 wholes, and then 5/8 plus 1 and 2/8. So you're gonna, for here, you are gonna shade 2 wholes and 5 parts. You also, because our model is already here, you can see that the denominator is 8. So in these models, so 2 wholes is what we're gonna shade first. So I'm just gonna quickly, like that. Now I have to shade 5 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Then, so this represents the 2 and 5/8. Now we're gonna do 1 and 2/8. So here's 1. And then I have to do 2/8. So I'm gonna go 1, 2. Okay? So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna grab another color. I'm gonna use the blue to show the holes. So here's 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes. So, which makes sense because 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, the eighths, just like with adding fractions, we don't add them together. They stay because it's how many pieces are in each hole. And then we're gonna add 5 plus 2 and get 7, okay? So how many total holes and parts are shaded? 3 and 7/8. Now, and it's very important for those of you that like math you're strong in, it's still really important for you to understand these models. If you were to look up, this is a simplified version of the standard, but you do need to be able to work with models as a 4th grader. So please don't skip that part, okay? All right, now for subtracting. So what you can see 6 is our denominator. So even with our holes, and you know how to switch now, but you would know that this is 12/6, right? And this is 6/6. So the first thing we're gonna do is shade 2 holes and then 5 parts or 5/6. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna take away 1 hole. So I'm using a different color. You don't have to. If you do your quick shading and it's light, then you can just cross out. So this is a complete hole that's crossed out. And then you're gonna take away, so there's our 1 hole that I took away. And now I'm gonna take away 1/6. This is a hole, so I'm not gonna take it from there. I'm gonna take it from down here. So what's left is 1 hole. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And our denominator stays the same because the parts in the hole did not change. So 1 and 4/6. Okay? Over here. I'm gonna start these top 2 by doing a model, and then the rest I'll do just by solving, okay? So if I have 2 and 1/4, I'm just gonna make some quick boxes. 2, and then because I'm gonna do 2 holes for the 2 holes, and then I'm gonna add another whole box here. My denominator for all 3 is gonna be 4ths. So there we go. And what we're going to do is now we gotta add 2 and 2/4. Okay, oh, let's shade, we don't need to do that yet. So again, we're gonna add another 2 holes quickly. I'm gonna break them into 4ths. And then I gotta add 1 more box for the fraction, 1 complete box, like this. And my denominator is still 4ths. So you can see 2 plus 2, I'll grab my color and go, I'm gonna shade the whole thing. So there's the 2, right? There's 2 more. Now I started with 1/4. So I'm gonna shade 1, and I'm adding 2 more, 1, 2. So really we didn't need this one, but it's good to have when you have, I have an extra box because of these. So I have a hole for this and a hole for this, but I ended up not needing it, so I'm just gonna cross that out. So let's count how many holes we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I ran out of room. 4 holes and 3/4. Sorry, messy. Don't do that. Okay, this one is subtraction. So now our denominator is thirds. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to do them a little smaller this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. My denominator is thirds. So I'm going to draw 2 lines in order to have thirds. And it's 4 2/3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to add a 5th box because I can't put those 2/3. This. There you go. And I'm going to shade. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2. Okay. So there's 4 2/3. And then I've got to take away 3 1/3. So I go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to take away 1/3. So again, I'm going to look over to my one that's not a hole. This one is 2/3. I'm going to cross it out. So now I have 1 hole left. 1, and if you look, if you were to cover these, look, this is just 4 minus 3. You know how to do that. 4 minus 3 is 1. And then 2/3 minus 1/3. So the first thing I'm going to do is give it thirds because my denominator did not change here. And I can cover it. Look, 2 minus 1. Okay, but remember, as a 4th grader, you need to be able to understand and analyze models. So if your teacher looks at your work, they should still see your models drawn where I drew them. Okay? All right, let's go here. So if it's me, usually what I do is I just knock out. So I'm going to go 4 plus 3 is 7, okay? I'm not going to use my models anymore. I'm not adding 3 plus 3. I keep my thirds because that's how many pieces are in each hole. And then I just do 1 plus 1. I have to tell you, one of the most common mistakes we see on tests, you guys, is that we see students who don't watch the symbol. So they just add or subtract without watching that. Okay. Now we have 2, our symbol that we're using. Our operation is minus. So we're going to go 2 minus 2. 2 minus 2 is 0 holes. Now we've got our denominator is 4ths. Okay. So 4 minus, we don't need to do anything with that. Now I've got 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So my answer is going to be 1/4. Oh, I forgot to put my answer over here. So let's just put it. Okay. Okay, our next step, let's do this one. So let's look at our operation first. It is addition, and let's do our holes. 4 plus 2 is 6, okay? Our denominator on our fraction is thirds. So I'm gonna put that there. And then 2 plus 2, ooh, 4/3. Uh-oh, so now we're gonna have to use that knowledge of converting. So we know that 3/3 is 1 whole. So this 6 is going to become a 7 because we're going to take the 4/3, we're going to split it in 1/3 because we took 3 of these thirds out because 3/3 would be 1 whole. We added it to our holes. Now we've got 1/3. Okay. All right. 2 minus 1 is 1. Oh no! Look at that. 1/5, our operation is subtraction. So here's what we're going to do. Our 1 whole, we're going to convert now. So our denominator is 5ths. So we're going to change it to be 5/5. Okay? We're going to add in our 1/5 that's right here. So it's going to become 1 5/5. Oh, no, 1 6/5. Sorry. 1 6/5 minus 1 2/5. Okay, so we took one of these from this 2, did that. Okay, so this is our new equation. 1 minus 1 is 0. 6 minus 2 is 4. So our answer is 4/5. Okay? All right. Now here we've got 1 4/5 plus 3 3/5. So that gives us 1 plus 3 is 4. Our operation is addition. Our denominator is 5. And then we've got 4 plus 3 is 7. So this is a fraction greater than a whole. also known as improper. So we're going to take away 5/5 because 5/5 would be 1 whole, and our 4 is going to become a 5. And then left over would be 2/5, right? So the answer is 5 2/5. If you're having a hard time, you could also draw a model. Let's see if this one is that way. Yes, so let's draw a model for this one. So I'm going to go 1, 2, our operation is subtraction, 3, 4. Our denominator is 6. So when I do 6, I like to make a line down the middle. I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to go up and down and make 2. You can see that gives us 6, okay? And then I also need, if it's 4 2, 6, I can't just have 4 holes. So let's make 1 more box, line down the middle, and then 2 lines like that. That gives us 6, okay? We're going to shade 4 2, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2. And then we're gonna take away 3 and 5, 6. So I'm gonna grab, actually, you don't need to do this, you can just use your pencil. So I'm gonna grab red just to help you guys be able to see it. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. So I took away 3. Now I have to take away 5, 6. So I'm gonna take away 1, 2, right? Now I have this hole, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what's left? We have no holes left, okay? And we have 3 6. And the reason is because we had to use some of this hole, this 6 6, to be able to regroup. It's regrouping with fractions, okay? So if you're having a hard time with these ones, you're like, Mrs. Baines, what are you doing? You can draw your boxes out, and that will help you, okay? All right. During a blizzard, it snowed 9 6/9 inches. After a week, the sun had melted. So with word problems, we have to think, what's our operation? If it melted, we're going to be subtracting. So we started with 9 6/9. The sun had melted 5 4/9, so I'm going to subtract. Okay, so 9 minus 5 equals 4. Our denominator will still be 9ths, and then 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, Mrs. Bloom had 4 7/12 boxes of pencils, but 1.5 boxes of the pencils were broken. Oh, sad day for Mrs. Bloom. So 4 7/12. And if they broke, they want to know how many were left. So we're going to subtract 4 7/12 minus 2 and 1/12. Okay, so these are not ones where we're going to have to regroup. So I just like to do those holes first. So 4 minus 2 is 2. 7 minus 1 is 6. Denominator stays the same. We're still dealing with 12 parts in a whole, and these are pencils in boxes. A small box of nails was 4 1/3 inches tall. 4 1/3. If the large box of nails was 2 1/3 inches taller, so you have to think in your head, okay, taller means bigger. How tall is a large box of nails? Okay, so it's taller, so we're going to add. So 2 1/3. The other thing, though, it could be taller, and they could have asked us what is the difference, and we would subtract. But because they want to know how, because it's an additional 2 1/3, we're adding. So 4 plus 2 is 6, and then 1 plus 1 is 2.